This transmission for the new moon in Virgo is going to focus on a practice that you can do for yourself that goes along with my transmission of the new moon in Virgo. So I was talking about how this new moon is functioning much like a lunar eclipse, which we will be going into. It's initiating that lunar eclipse, but it's a very big, like, full moon energy of release, except that it's in the dark. So the dark of the moon plus release is kind of the paradoxical energy that we're dealing with. So the practice for this new moon is a subtle practice. Mastery is subtlety. The more subtle you can get, the more masterful you are, because mastery is more simple. It's less in the mind, and it is in the bodies that have access to the unified field. So when we tune into ourselves, I'm going to explain first, and then we can do this practice. We're going to feel into where is that sentence, that place in the body that represents that sentence of that which I'm holding on to. And it doesn't mean that that's going to go away, because I don't know. You don't know. You might know, and you might be fearing it, and that's why you're gripping. Or you might just know that you're holding on to it. Now, letting go doesn't mean killing it off, destroying it, blowing it up. It means like taking your hand and releasing the grip. So I go down to the beach, I grab some sand, I open my palm, and I let the sand fall out as it wants to. And that right there is really deep trust, because I'm not separate from life. There's no need for me to hang on, because if I hang on, I might be missing that, like a diamond wants to drop in my hand, but I've just closed it because I'm trying to hold on to something that has served already its purpose, or that wants to alchemize into something new. So the practice, let's close our eyes and go into our heart space and take some breaths into the heart, and connect your heart with your solar plexus and your third eye point. And let's ask for the wisdom and the gnosis to come in through our crown, down into our bodies, and also up through our feet from Mother Earth, and meet in our heart center. And see your body infused with gold light. And then drop all of that and come into the core, the center place, whatever you regard as your center place. And then in that place, ask yourself, what am I holding on to? And see if you can see a grip around something. It could be like, my parents cannot die. I cannot lose this job. I must get this client. I have to have this business. This must work. Do you hear how I'm saying it? There's kind of a desperation around it. It's reflecting this place where I may have lost some of my power, and I may have put it in that thing. Maybe it comes up as a negative. I'm not going to do that anymore. I can't stand so-and-so. I want them out of here. This attachment energy. I want my kids to want to hang out with me. I want my kids to stop being on screens. Just fill in the blank with the thing that has you really gripped inside. And I'm not judgmental calling it, it could be, you could be research backed and data backed, we're not even doing that. We're really looking at the energetics of that fist, that knot. And then once you've identified one thing, and you may have knots all over the place, but just identify one thing and bring your attention, your conscious awareness to that one thing and see it as a knot, like your fist. And you're holding on. And notice that grip. Notice how it's cutting off certain circulation. Notice the level of openness or closure. Notice the tightness. Notice the constriction. Notice the desperation. And as you notice, just witness. We're not even trying to do anything. To see if it already, just in your noticing, in your witnessing, wants to let go. Notice if there's fear there. Notice if there's doubt, separation, guilt, trauma. And just acknowledge that. If it is that, acknowledge it. That's legit. We're just acknowledging right now. We're not making excuses. And then just take a look and see, does that hand representing that knot feel inclined to loosen at all? You can ask it the question, how would it feel if you loosened your grip a little bit? If you brought some blood circulation into your fingers as a metaphor for the circulation of life force energy that wants to flow around it, that might require something that you're afraid of. And just see if there's a little bit of letting go in there. There's such intelligence. It'll tell you, it'll guide you. And if you have any other questions to ask it, you can certainly ask it. Be in conversation with it. We do this kind of parts work on the second Sunday of every month inside the membership. So if this is new to you, or if this is part of your daily routine or needs to be, just jump in. We do this in community because this is one of the most important tools. And so allow your hand to, at its own pace, just open like a flower opening. We don't need to tell the flower to open and blossom. That's baked into its coding. It's going to do that. If we give it the time and the space and the sunshine and the water and the nurturance, it's going to open. And then just witness the sand falling through your fingers, the openness. And feel what the openness feels like in your body. And so then relate that back to the thing that you were closed about and see if there's now a relaxation around that thought or idea that something has to happen, that I could never lose my job, that I could never lose this client, whatever that fear is, because we all know that as soon as we say that, like that's the thing that happens, right? Because it's for our highest and best not to be attached and put our source outside of ourselves. So now what we're doing is we're realigning with source energy. Realign inside yourself with source energy. Now that I've let go of that thing, I can now be in the free flow of the source energy that wants to take me in the direction it wants to take me, because it is me. It has never left me. It can't even be against me because it is me. It's completely for me. And so we're going to trust. We're going to trust whatever is letting go, because something new, and you can imagine in that hand, just maybe some like beautiful emeralds or sapphires or rubies. Just imagine them as the metaphor of the jewel that wants to be replaced. It's part of that dharmic code. What is coming in next as you're aligned with source energy? no longer resisting. And so thank that resistance for showing you the path of self-mastery. And take a deep breath and come back into your body, and then flutter open your eyes and rejoin the video. And you can do that practice many times. And in fact, you're going to do it many times because it's not one and done. It's a constant muscle that we are developing to come back to trust, because otherwise we're so hijacked and we need the world to be a certain way, and the world will not play that game. It's too honorable to play small like that. So there's your practice for the new moon. I'm sending you so much love. I know we can do it as a collective, and we're here together, and I'll see you on the next video.